Hi friends, on this episode of Cooking with the Diva, I'm going to be preparing white bean chicken chili in the Pampered Chef quick cooker. This recipe is so flavorful, creamy, and delicious. You're not gonna believe your taste buds. And it's super easy to make. I mean, anything in the quick cooker for me is super easy and fantastic, especially the cleanup. This is a one-pot meal kitchen hero. So right now, I've already got my oil starting to get hot on a sear setting. I've got my peppers and my jalapenos all ready in here, getting ready to sear. But I wanted to show you one of my shortcuts, the manual food processor. I like this gadget so much better than a regular food processor because I feel like I have more control of the size of the end chopped result vegetable. I really like the uniformity of running, the satisfaction of running my knife through a vegetable. I've never been one for a food processor until I met this one, which was super. So I just want to show you how easy it is. And I'm using my onion as an example. Now, this recipe calls for 1 medium onion. I've just chunked it up. I think I'm gonna put the whole thing in there. You kind of have to do it in batches because it's obviously not a very large bowl, but this should work. So I'm just gonna set the lid on it. It does chop in larger batches than the food chopper. If I was doing this in the food chopper, I would have to do it in at least 2 batches. And oh yes, I'm gonna do this just a couple more times. And it is really, that onion is just looking good. And now the top of the food processor, it really doesn't get that dirty. So hand washing it is no big deal. And the base and the blade go into the dishwasher. Now the blade is super sharp, so definitely be careful when you're taking it in and out of the dishwasher. And there you go, the oil is already hot, starting to sear and cook up those beautiful vegetables, super aromatic. Next into the pot, I'm gonna add 2 cloves of garlic. Now all I've done is taken the skin off, and I'm gonna put this in the food chopper as well. I'm gonna give it a nice chop, get it minced nice and fine. I could put it through the garlic press, but I feel like for this application, it's just a better result as far as the flavor goes. It's just a little bit bigger, quite a bit bigger actually, than it would be if I was pressing it. And it's gonna add such fragrant, fresh, clean, savory, zesty, I would say garlic is zesty flavor. So I'm going to add just a dab more olive oil in. And this is looking great so far. Now, once I put the garlic in, I'm not gonna sear it much longer before I shut it off and add the rest of the ingredients because I don't want the garlic to burn. That is not good eats. The garlic can quickly go from amazing and savory to bitter, and that's just not pleasant. Before I stop it from searing, I need to add 2 tablespoons of flour. Why? Because it's going to help everything get, actually I'm going to shut it off now because it's just screaming hot in there. 2 tablespoons of flour to coat the vegetables. This is going to help thicken the chili, well, what will ultimately be the chili, but it'll help get the broth nice and thick, which is what I'm going to be adding next. So, yes, you hear it quieting down? That's the effect of the flour. So what happens is the vegetables are all coated nicely in oil, and now it's coated nicely in flour, and I'd love to take a look inside the pan, shall we? So this is our look inside the quick cooker as the vegetables are cooking. They're just a little bit brown, they're just a little bit fabulous, and they're nice and coated with the flour. Now I know you all have heard me talk. If you've heard me talk at all, I'm talking about bone broth, and this is a brand new, fresh out of the crock pot today made container of poultry bone broth. That's right, this came from chicken bones. It's rich in color, nutrients, vitamins, minerals. It will cure just about anything. that ails you. It is just amazing, and it's going in this dish. I need 2 cups of it. The recipe calls for low sodium broth. Please, make your own. That's like 0 sodium. I mean, unless you're adding salt to it yourself, you know exactly what is in this broth. So, 2 cups. I'm gonna put this, actually I'm gonna put it a little at a time to deglaze the pan a bit. And then, okay, there we go. This way I know for sure there's not gonna be any lumps because, like I said earlier, the vegetables had oil on them, the flour coats them, and then when I pour the broth in, it all becomes one nice, beautiful consistency in that pot. No lumps of flour, please, and thank you. Bone broth in. A cup of frozen corn. We're gonna put that in. Get all those delicious little kernels. And last but not least, a tablespoon of Southwest seasoning. I'm going to just stir that around. Looking good in that pot. Last but certainly not least, the chicken. So I have whole chicken breasts. I'm going to just place them in the pot over the vegetables. Simple. Don't worry. We will shred them later when they come back out of the pot. I'm going to make sure they're down under the broth so that they are cooked in the seasoning. And, of course, now we need a little salt. And I'm using my good Mushio Japanese salt. I kind of feel like it's magical, and every time I sprinkle it on a dish, it's like sprinkling a little magic. If you don't know about the magic of Mushio salt from Japan, you need to look it up. Google it. Learn about it. It actually is harvested from seaweed that's dried in the sun. It is so rich in flavor and nutrients. It's not like any other salt you've ever had. It is really a treat, and I highly recommend you check it out and try it. Amazon Prime. I mean, if you have a local Japanese market, absolutely go for it. Shop local, always. If not, Prime usually has what you need. You know you love Prime. Okay. This baby is locked and loaded, and she's ready to go. I have her on the soup stock setting, which is a 30-minute steam pressure cook setting. So it has to come to steam, and then it's going to cook for 20 minutes. So we're about, it usually takes about 20 minutes or so on average for the quick cooker to come to steam. Then it's gonna cook for 30 minutes, and then we're gonna take our next steps. Let's do it together, shall we? Our quick cooker cycle is finished. But the meal's not ready to eat yet. We still have a little bit of work to do. So you're going to safely remove the lid. This is warm. Just, test it first. You can touch this, pick it up, and oh my gosh, it is beautiful in there. Okay, I'm just gonna set the lid down. Now, remember, we put the chicken breasts in whole. We're not gonna eat it that way though. So you have to take the chicken breasts out. I'm gonna just put them in this mixing bowl here. And then we're gonna take the salad choppers. Oh, it's already falling apart. Wow, is it tender? Okay. I think I'm gonna let that sit and cool for just a second. In the meantime, we do have to add some things into the pot. So let me get out my bamboo. Of course, what's chicken and bean chili without beans, right? So you can use a can of Great Northern beans, or you can prep ahead and cook the beans right here in the quick cooker. You can soak them, you don't have to. Being the food nerd that I am, I do soak them. And the reason isn't because they cook better. The reason is because on the outside of the bean, there is a coating called the lectin shield. It's on beans, grains, and legumes. So when you soak the beans, grains, and legumes before you cook them, in salted water, it will help that lectin shield break down. So when you cook the beans and consume them, you are getting more of the nutrients in the bean. It actually makes the vitamins and minerals and all the good stuff you're eating the bean for more bioavailable. So it's you taking a moment to maximize the nutrients in your food Hey, it's totally cool. The quick cooker will cook those beans up. Oh no, I forgot to rinse them. Don't forget to rinse them. You have time for that. I forgot to soak them. They're gonna cook the same whether you soak them or not. That's all I'm saying. But if you wanna be a nerd like me, you're gonna soak them anyway. If not, I love you anyway. All right, the beans are in the pot. Long story short, long story long. And I'm gonna make quick work of these beautiful breasts. Holy cow. This is great for a rough chop. I mean, the salad chopper is a beast. 2 blades, super sharp. And Pampered Chef, when they designed this, they designed a lock on it, which is really important because when it's in your drawer, you lock it shut with this little lever here on the top. And the blades are deep down in the ridges and you're not gonna get cut. So don't be afraid of sharp tools. Pampered Chef has got you covered with safety features galore. Now, the chicken, going back in the pot with all the veggies, the broth, the beans. See how nice that's shredded? There's all kinds of shredding tools that Pampered Chef has. I mean, they've got basically everything. What's your cooking style? They've got an answer for you to make your life easier in the kitchen. Like every single time. All right, that is looking fantastic. Wow, all right. Now, the recipe I'm using calls for 2% milk. I'm not big on low fat. When you get low fat products, there are things added to it, like extra sugar or some sort of gum to thicken it and give you the mouthfeel of full fat. Go for the full fat. It's better for you. Your body knows how to process fat. It doesn't know what to do with guar gum. Trust me. Anyway, so a cup. And speaking of full fat, I don't have full fat milk. So that was heavy cream. Ooh, yes. Do that. You want a really rich dish? You're gonna get it. Now, and the last thing to go in is, well, the cheese. Of course. Why would you leave cheese out of this dish? So I'm just gonna stir that up and show you my microplane grater. So while this was cooking, I got out the grater. This thing is great. This, we'll call it a hammer, goes in the insert. The cheese goes in this little spot here, which attaches to the grater, up and down, and grates this cheese that's like super fine and fluffy. It's like new fallen snow in the flavor of cheddar. It's beautiful. So I'm not gonna measure it. Mad scientist at work. It calls for 3/4 of a cup. We're gonna call that right there, 3/4 of a cup, right in the pot. We're gonna give that a stir, and we're just gonna let it sit and heat through. We're gonna let the cheese melt. It'll thicken with the cheese. It is super aromatic. I can't wait to taste it. I'm gonna get out an avocado, slice it up, and have it with this. You wanna have it with a baked potato? Go for it. Baked sweet potato, even better. Garnish it with cheese, avocado. Go for the guacamole. Who doesn't want guacamole? Let me show you what it looks like. So there it is, the finished white bean chicken chili. It's looking beautiful. It's smelling fantastic, and I'm just gonna let this sit and simmer for a moment. My quick cooker is on the keep warm setting. This is going to be super warm. I mean, I could honestly leave it here for a couple of hours, but I'm hungry. Who wants to wait that long? So thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. I hope you are inspired to get cooking and keep cooking. I love it when you come and visit me. I love it when you ask questions. If you'd like the recipe, please ask. I'd love to message it to you and we can connect over food and fun. That's life, right, friends? Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you soon.